Okay, so here we had equal lows. Okay, these were equal lows in the market, but then I realized that price had already made relatively equal lows. Okay, so here we had some bit of a trend line that was about to be broken, you see. So once price made this assignment, I knew that we had to buy and clear most of the liquidity up. My stop loss was underneath these equal lows here, and then my TP was up there. So I bought on the first candle that actually started to buy, which was around here. If you guys can see, this was the candle where I bought. See this resistance line? So price broke structure here, came back for a retest and continued higher. But for me, I entered at this area here. My stop loss was underneath these previous lows. Okay, there was liquidity here, but if price was to take out the liquidity above, we had to first of all take out the liquidity above, then perhaps clear the liquidity lower. So that's why I took my entry from that side. So for clarity, let's first remove all this. Okay, I see the price has broken, has been ranging in this range, and then afterwards it has cleared and then went all the way up. So the next move that I can find is where to find even more liquidity. So more liquidity is around this area here. Beneath these lows you have liquidity, and above these lows we also have liquidity. So there's trendline liquidity in two places. Okay, so what can market do? Let's wait and see if price comes and clears some liquidity here. As you can see, price came and cleared those equal lows, and then we tapped into another supply area here. Is there any liquidity above? Of course, now we have a trendline liquidity, which is in the form of the trendline liquidity is simply where we have this area around here. Okay, so anyways, I'm expecting price to buy because of clear liquidity, stop loss underneath. TP is just after we have cleared most of this liquidity, so it will be above that area. I didn't even make this stuff up, bro. Price came actually and cleared all the liquidity above, but we see that it would have taken some bit of patience for it to get this entry rate. Okay, as I've told you before, okay, as I'm practicing, what I've been observing a lot is that price, if it's take out the opposite liquidity, it first of all makes its own lower liquidity. You see this where I've put my area there. Price has not cleared this level yet. If price cleared this liquidity, then you wouldn't have had that move upward. Okay, so we have to bear that in mind. We had some liquidity along there which was extreme, and price came and cleared the whole of it. So now next we have from this area here, we are price could potentially clear some liquidity here. Okay, there's some liquidity, but also we have a previous high where there's even way much more liquidity. So if price is able to break the first level and clear some liquidity, I'll take my entries from around that level. Okay, so let me first show you what I mean. So if price is able to come and clear this liquidity, now take my entries for buys from that area upward. But if price instead, because price can also do this, you can just pull back a bit then continue higher. Those are also probabilities, but the higher probability for me is when price is able to break that liquidity, and then afterwards we have a push upward. Okay, because this is another good zone to buy from. We have some trendline liquidity here that isn't yet tapped in. We have a higher high there that is not yet tapped in, so that's a good zone for us to trade. Okay, so we shall first of all wait and see what price does. So price finally clears the liquidity, tests my first zone here, which is a supply zone. If you guys can notice, this is a demand zone and it's in line with the support and resistance. So sorry, I meant to buy. Okay, let's buy. This was the sell position anyways, so we're going to buy until market is able to clear some liquidity up here. Stop loss is always going to be very tight for this one, because as I've told you, there's liquidity underneath this area here, so price could potentially come and clear it before it continues higher. So anyways, let's wait and see what price gives us. As you can see, price came and cleared some of the liquidity above, and ended in some good profit. Okay, ended in some good profit. But now there's an issue whereby price does this kind of funny thing. For instance, this is your demand zone. Okay, this is your minor demand zone. Okay, what do you see? Price just came and pushed to the demand zone. So you're like, what happened here? Why did price push to the demand zone, then continue in my direction? The reason is simple. There is also liquidity underneath that demand zone. So once price cleared some of the liquidity, most of the stop loss orders for buyers were hit. That gave them, when those stop loss orders were hit, for sellers, sorry, when their stop loss orders were hit, now we had a huge rally up to clear most of the orders above. So anyways, after we have cleared the orders above, what's next? Okay, now price has the potential to come and clear all the liquidity underneath. So we have the potential for price to come and clear all the orders underneath here. It's not a must, but it could work. Okay, it's just a probability entry. So we have cleared the liquidity, we have made equal lows, equal highs. So what do we expect? Let's wait for price to come back to my entry, my first zone. The first entry zone is all the way up to there. Okay, I want to see price how it reacts at that zone. Okay, okay, so once price has left us, what do we do? In most of the cases, if you are impatient, you just left the market right. But if you are impatient like me, you wait for a sweep of liquidity, then you take your entry. Okay, you have swept liquidity. Now we are aiming for this high liquidity, and then afterwards we shall sell. So let's wait a bit. Okay, price has cleared the liquidity above. We sell. TP is gonna be at this extreme supply zone, demand zone, sorry, and then stop loss is just gonna be at 168. Okay, that should be my stop loss. And we see market is dropping right now. Market is dropping. But now to lock in some profits, we have seen some trend line liquidity here which has been cleared. Okay, some trend line liquidity here has been cleared, and after it has been cleared, now we expect that price may potentially make a push upward. Okay, make a push downward to clear even the equal liquidity which was here. If you guys can observe that level, this is equal liquidity, so price could potentially come and clear that area. Okay, so for this one, I shall put my stop loss just underneath here. If price decides to, push up, I'll be safe. I'll already be in some profit. But if price decides to break and continue higher, then I'll call it a day. Okay, let's wait. After some time, price indeed came and swept liquidity, tapped into the demand zone, but because we had no take profit, our stop loss was hit instead. But as you can see, price already went into the demand zone, and then afterward it started pushing up. Okay, so that's a good indicator for our entry. That's a good entry model for us. Okay, so your entry could have been from this demand zone all the way up to the higher, because we have cleared liquidity and price is likely to make a new higher high, which it has already made here. So after that new higher high, now we want price to continue pushing up. Now given that price has cleared most of the liquidity, so I shall remove all the drawings. Okay, I shall remove most of the drawings so that I can have a clear picture of where the market is likely to go. So all the liquidity has been swept. So we have equal lows which have been swept. So market structure is extremely now bullish for now. So I shall wait a bit. We see that price is pushing up. We clear some demand zone. Now this is a common pattern, but I won't trade it. But after we clear some demand zone, price starts now reversing, goes up even to create a new higher high. So you guys can observe we had a demand zone which was nearer here. Okay, this was the nearest demand zone. What did price do? It came and pushed to the demand zone. That means we are orders underneath that demand zone. Okay, so once price pushed through and created a new zone, there was liquidity that was tapped into, so that liquidity is one which pushed the market higher. We cannot be sure at this area where we can take those entries, but for now let's just focus on the trading itself. Okay, so this is the second time that price is coming towards this demand zone. I shall buy. Stop loss, of course, underneath this newly formed liquidity, and then TP is to clear this liquidity, which is equal. The equal high is there. Okay, that's my TP. After some time, of course, price went and hit our TP, but this was a little bit tricky, because you have to first of all know that market won't clear. For instance, if market came and cleared the liquidity underneath here, would you think realistically that price would have the potential to come and clear the liquidity above? No. So given that price is bullish, we have to just look for liquidity that could potentially push it higher. Okay. But this zone here is where we can take our potential entries for sales. But after that liquidity there is cleared, I want to take my buys from this demand zone. Okay, this is a good demand zone. Take my buys. Of course, now because of some bit of manipulation, you may see price pushing underneath this demand zone and perhaps clearing some liquidity up to around that area. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. But essentially, my entry would be these two zones. Okay, these two zones will be my entry. So price is pushing up. It's pushing up. Okay, we have liquidity now. If we clear this liquidity underneath, that means your market has potential to even decrease lower. So let's wait and see. There was a minute break. Okay, and price is now starting to sell. So what's the model here for sales? Okay, what's the sell model now? Since we are clearing the low liquidity, I will sell. Stop loss and above this newly created liquidity at the top, and then TP is gonna be underneath this liquidity zone here. This is the first TP. Okay, then the second TP could be up to this liquidity zones here. Okay, so we shall wait and see what price gives at this point. As you can see, TP has been hit. As I've told you, price always protects the first the liquidity that creates the zone itself. For instance, if you are to start selling, price will first of all disrespect all the buy side liquidity. Okay, it will disrespect everything that supports a buy. So we have seen that price has already disrespected this trend line liquidity, and now it's starting to push lower. Okay, so where exactly can we enter even more? Remember, that was the first TP. Second TP is actually around this equal lows. Okay, this is the second liquidity. So if price comes and clears this liquidity, we tap into this demand zone. That will be a very good entry model, because we have these equal highs up here that price could potentially break. Okay, so you have to just be patient and wait for market to give you the go ahead. Okay, so see that price is now pushing higher. Now we have cleared the higher liquidity, which means that we are protecting. Market is still now bullish, because that means we are protecting this lower liquidity. Okay, the lower base is being protected. Since the lower base is being protected, we have to just look for a supply zone where price could potentially pull back to until we break this lower base. Okay, so we have so the first demand zone, if you guys can observe, the first supply zone that we have is around this area here. Okay, so I'll take my sales from that area. Stop loss is gonna be above, and then we're going to clear some of the liquidity underneath this area. So my stop loss is gonna be above this new liquidity high, because that's some liquidity to offset the price. Okay, so I took my first sell, and let's see what price gives us at this point. Okay, price has now pushed underneath, and now it's protecting these equal lows. Okay, let's hold on a bit. Okay, so price actually eventually hit our TP. Okay, price eventually hit our take profit, and if we had held on a bit longer, we could have been given a more crazy chance for price to even continue towards the first supply and demand zones there down. Okay, but of course, now for most of you, if you want to get these liquidity setups, you have to be very patient. because I've lost some good money today. Let me first show you the money I lost today. Today I was trading this is a demo account anyways. Let's go to my real account here. This one, the FBS market. Okay, so today I lost around $9, but the reason for why I lost some good cash here today was because I'd entered some positions on what USDJPY, and for some reason I lost all the money. But yeah, it is what it is. So if you guys can observe here, I had a very good setup on USDJPY. Okay, I was selling, but I got a little bit excited, so I never actually I never actually watched these trades to the fullest. Okay, so if you go to USDJPY here, this is USDJPY. I don't want a new order, I just want to see open chart. Okay, if you are observing USDJPY, you notice that where I took my entry was not actually very far from this whole market structure. Price has already now started selling, but I already had some entries along the way. Okay, so my entry was around this area here. Okay, I was selling because price had reached the